Let's go to Mike Helgren now. So, Mike, we know that there were witnesses, and we know that obviously there are shell casings. Those are going to be found. What other kind of evidence do you think are going to lead them to these two suspects? The suspects took off with a lot of personal materials, which are traceable, correct?
Correct, though, Denise. There are cameras all around the city, and you have to believe that they can track where these people went. Also, there are, there are ballistics experts with the ATF and Baltimore City Police who can perhaps trace any guns or ammunition that might have been used. They're probably scouring the area for any cameras to see if they can track where these people went. So there are a lot of angles that they're working on right now, and we probably won't get a lot of detail when they eventually hold that press briefing, but we will hopefully get some of the nuts and bolts. Now, earlier today, the governor had talked to us about gun control and guns in America, and this was in the wake of these mass shootings that we've seen in El Paso and Dayton. Since he talked to us, he has tweeted, "We ask that you keep this officer in your prayers as he fights for his life, but thoughts and prayers alone are not enough. We have been pushing tough sentences to get these violent shooters off the streets. Now is the time for city and legislative leaders to finally join us and support our efforts." So let's take a listen to what the governor told us earlier today. We also spoke to Senator Chris Van Hollen about guns in this country. After the mass shootings in Dayton and El Paso, there's a push for tougher gun laws nationwide. Governor Hogan tells WJZ he does not see a need for more gun control in Maryland.
So we have the toughest gun laws in America, and we passed the red flag legislation, which could have stopped some of these shootings because of dealing with people with mental illness. But it doesn't stop the 300 and some murders in Baltimore City.
There were at least 4 shootings in Baltimore over the past 24 hours. The governor believes tougher gun laws are not curbing that kind of violence and wants tougher sentencing for repeat violent offenders.
That's really going to have an impact on those repeat shooters. There's a lot of gang violence in the drug trade, and that's the law we really need next. We've already got all the other laws on the books, and it hasn't stopped.
Baltimore City Mayor Jack Young joined 214 mayors nationwide, calling on the U.S. Senate to return to Washington to pass gun control legislation, including mandating all firearms purchases undergo a background check. Senator Chris Van Hollen.
It is way over time that we act to stop the gun violence, and if not stop it altogether, at least take measures that will save lives.
The U.S. Attorney's Office had tweeted out after the shooting of the sergeant that they asked people to please put down the guns, that you may save a life. The U.S. Attorney's Office has been working with Baltimore City Police to get the most violent criminals off of the streets and try to punish them with stricter federal sentences. But, the governor so echoed those statements after the shooting. What he told us earlier today, that with the number of shootings that we're having in Baltimore, what there needs to be, according to him, are tougher sentences. He has also repeatedly criticized judges for going too easy on these repeat violent offenders. What we don't know right now is who these suspects are in the shooting of the sergeant, and we're getting those details. But again, this was gun violence in Baltimore City, and so this again opens up that discussion that we've been having with these mass shootings in America.